guys, thanks for joining me today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if you are comfortable in a seat, reclined or child's pose, I encourage you to just move into a position or a pose, or maybe you prefer to do it standing, that feels really good in your body. And that'll really be the theme, really following your body's own intuition. So if something feels like it's not really working, I want you to pull back from that. If it feels like it's really working, move more into that space and just get to know what you like, what you don't like, but never feel that you have to move into any poses, especially if there's any discomfort or pain. Anyway, let's go ahead and close the eyes down, whatever we've chosen to start in. Just allowing everything to feel like it's getting a tingling sensation almost. It's not necessarily tingling, but we're just bringing a bit of awareness to the body. You might actually notice that that awareness does actually create a bit of a tingling feeling in the shoulders. Maybe your skin feels like it's tingling a little bit. It's just that power of directed energy. And it's really easy to step out of our bodies. And for a lot of us, we go about our day, although we're in our physical bodies, we've lost that connection to sensation, feeling, just being really present. So a lot of this practice really draws on this intention to be present, to be connected, to not push towards pain, to think of nurturing the body. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Slowing down the inhale and exhale, clearing out every last little breath before we inhale again. Maybe you can feel your belly moving, your chest moving. And soften your jaw. And just start to bring the intention back to your body, moving the intention to your face. And then gently start to blink open your eyes. Nice, soft, kind of butterfly wings opening. Finding your seat if you're not in a seat, moving up into it. Let's just inhale, lift the arms up, find a reach here. Spark the fingers, find that height, take a big breath in. And then breathing out, bring the arms down beside the body, and we're going to make our way onto our hands and our knees. So spinning around. Moving onto your hands and your knees, take the time to set up, and then let's move through some cat-cows. So breathing in to lift the tail, drop the belly, pull the sternum forward, draw the shoulders back. And then exhale to press and round, so lifting the spine and dropping the head. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, flexion, so pressing and rounding, lifting. And again, big breath in. And a big breath out. Now from here, just moving into your neutral spine, staying on hands and knees, but walking over to the right hand side. Now keeping the hips above the knees, more or less, drop onto your right elbow and reach your left hand away from your left hip, potentially letting your forehead land on the right wrist or forearm. Take just one big breath here. And then slowly come back to center, come onto hands and knees, and then walk over to the left, dropping onto your left elbow. Reach the right hand as far away from the right hip as you can. You can even tuck your chin, but maybe just resting it on the forearm. Try to spark those right fingers. And slowly coming back to center, making your way onto your hands and your knees once again. Now, if you're okay with your knees like this, you might want to bring something underneath them to pad them. Just tuck your toes and start to walk your hands back towards your knees. So coming into a big toe stretch. Now if this feels uncomfortable, obviously untuck your toes, but if you can, just coming up, lifting up through the heart, roll your shoulders back, bring your gaze up, bring your arms up. Take a big breath in, and then big breath out, bring your arms down, come back onto hands and knees, untucking your toes. And from here, let's just pause for a moment. You might even feel like hitting the tops of your feet on the mat. Take another full breath in, then tucking your toes again, this time lifting the hips and pushing back into a downward facing dog. Now, as we arrive here, we'll bend and pedal. So bend the knees and pedal the feet. We might move the hips from side to side. We might drop the head or roll forwards and back, really just playing around. Play around with the shape. Encourage it to feel really authentic. You might want to have your downward facing dog a little longer, a little shorter. You might want your heels lifted and knees more bent. Let's take another full breath in here. And then lifting up onto your tippy toes. Inhale, drop your heels over towards the right. Bend your knees, squish yourself towards the back of your mat. Inhale, coming back to center. Roll up onto your tippy toes, drop your knees to the left, bend the knees and squish, your heels, to the left and squish. Lifting back up to center, inhale, up onto tippy toes, and then take your knees out wide, bring your hips back towards your heels. Let's find child's pose. And take one big breath. Sit our regular child's pose. And then bring your elbows and hands in a little closer. We're going to make a little shark fin behind the back of our hairline. So bring your hands together and walk your elbows forward. Final breath here. And then releasing your arms. Let's come back up onto hands and knees. Take the time that you need to arrive. Retucking your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's bring the heels up again and start to walk the feet all the way to the hands. Now as we get to the top of the mat, take your feet about hip distance. That could be a little wider. Soften your knees so your belly comes onto your thighs. Hold on to opposite elbows, or just let your arms dangle here. And just like our down dog, maybe pedaling, so bending one knee at a time, lifting toes, lifting heels, or just rocking. Take one more full breath. And then bending your knees, let's roll up to standing. You can take as many breaths as you need to come up. Give your shoulders a nice big roll. Inhale, lift your arms up. And then from here, bringing your arms out wide, let's swan dive all the way down. Coming into a halfway lift. So bringing the hands more than likely up onto the legs, draw the shoulders back, lengthen the crown of your head towards the top of your mat. Now think about lifting that navel in, up and under the rib cage, and pull those sit bones back, pull your heart forward a little. The crown of your head comes forward, shoulders back. Take another full breath in, and then bring your hands down to the ground. Shift the weight into your right foot, bend your right knee perhaps, and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Drop your left knee down and move back and forth into your hip flexors. So little rocks, forwards and back. Do that as much as you need to, and then coming to stillness in that low lunge, press into your front foot, lift the hands up, take a big breath in. From here, cactus both arms, so pull the elbows out to the side, open up your heart. So maybe even taking the back of the hands further back, you might look up. Take a full breath in. And then as you breathe out, continue letting your arms come towards the ground, like you're scooping something up, and then reach them forward. Inhale. And then exhale, hands come down beside the front foot or maybe further back to the hips, half Hanuman. So start to straighten your right leg, send the left hip back so that the left hip is over the knee, and then try to lengthen and push the right heel forward. Lengthen through your back, take a big inhale. And then exhale, maybe fold just a little here. Inhale, lifting up, bend the front knee, exhale. Hands meet the earth, tuck the back toes, come into downward facing dog when you're ready. Once you arrive in your dog, take a full breath. And then lift up onto your tippy toes, bending your knees. Let's walk to the top of the mat. You can keep your legs straight, of course, but potentially bending your knees, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up, lifting up. Take the inhale to reach the fingers high, and then exhale, big swan dive all the way back down. Slide your hands up onto your legs, halfway lift, pause for a few breaths. So draw the shoulders back, shift the weight into the balls of the feet, feel the inner arches lifting a little as you ground through the edges of your feet. Take another big breath in. Let your hands come to the ground, shift the weight into your left foot, slow and steady step your right foot back, taking the time. When you arrive, move forwards and back, let your hips feel okay with the depth that you find when you start to lift your arms. And when you're ready, coming forward into that low lunge, you can keep your back toes tucked or untucked, lift the arms up, take a big inhale. Cactus both arms, pull the elbows out. So arms are about a 90-degree angle. That's what we mean by cactus. And then maybe turn the hands back a little. Open the front of your body as best you can. Take a big breath in. Then like you're scooping something up along the side and pushing it forward, inhale, reach your arms forward. Exhale, half Hanuman, hands meet the earth, straighten the front leg, right hip over the knee, flex the left foot. And you might want to use blocks here, or you might even brace on that top front leg. Find a bit of length, inhale. And then exhale, just fold as much as your body wants you to fold. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, bending that knee. Let's step it back. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Take another full breath in your dog. And then on the inhale, float your right leg up towards the ceiling. We're going to bend the knee, but not open the hip. Bend the knee so the right heel comes towards the right sit bone. And then start to pull your right knee in towards your belly button, but staying in down dog. Take a full breath in. And then travel forward so that your shoulders come over your wrists, more or less. So don't need to completely. And see if you can step your right foot forward. Once again, drop your back knee. Untuck your back toes if it feels good. Inhale, lift the arms up. Cactus your arms, open your heart, exhale. Inhale, big scoop, reach the arms forward. This time, bring the hands together, inhale. And then coming up, drop them behind the back of your head, breath out. Press your head into your hands, open your heart, inhale. And then exhale, half Hanuman. Hands come down, start to send the hips back, straighten the right leg, pull your heart forward, inhale. And then find that fold, exhale. Inhale, coming back up, bend the knee, exhale. Tuck the back toes, meeting back in down dog. Take a breath. Then when you're ready, inhale, left leg comes up. Now bend the knee so the heel comes towards the sit bone. Stay in your down dog shape. Start to pull the knee in towards the belly. Holding it here, pressing into the earth really firmly with both hands. And then shifting forward. So bring the shoulders as far forward as you can so that you can help get that foot forward. Then you can, of course, touch down if you need to. Step the foot between the hands, drop your back knee. Inhale, lift the hands. Cactus your arms, exhale. From here, that big scoop forward, bringing the hands together, however. Inhale, come up. Hands behind the back of the head, breath out. Lift the heart, inhale. Exhale, half Hanuman, hands come down. Start to straighten that front leg. Inhale, pull your heart forward. And then fold just a little on your exhale. Inhale to lift. Bend that knee, exhale, meet your back in down dog, taking as many breaths as you need to arrive back. When you're ready, inhale, bringing your gaze forward if that feels good. Step, walk, however you want to get to the top of your mat. Find a halfway lift on an inhale, and then fold on an exhale. You're going to come up to standing, and as we do, shift into the left foot and pull the right knee up in towards the belly, hands come up. Now, if this feels a bit much, hold on to your right knee. If you feel okay here, bring your hands behind the back of your head and lift the elbows, lift the heart. Inhale, point your right toes. And then exhale, dropping the right foot, bring the arms out wide, just a forward fold here. From here, halfway lifting, folding exhale. Same thing on the other side. So inhale, come up, shift the weight into your right foot, pull your left knee up, pointing your left toes down, hands come together or support the knee, and then drop the hands behind the head. Lift the heart, inhale. And then exhale, let's drop the foot, come back into your forward fold. Halfway lifting on your next breath in, and then ground your hands, come back into plank. So this can be done on knees or toes. Choose your own adventure. From here, draw the shoulders back, find that little core lock, a little inhale forward, lower to the earth on your exhale. Once you get down here, untuck your toes, push the tops of the feet into the earth, roll your heart forward for Cobra. And then exhale, coming down with the forehead. Then come into an active Cobra now. So roll your shoulders back, lift the hands up off the mat. So pressing down with the tops of your feet, pulling your shoulders back, take a big inhale. Exhale, drop your forehead, drop your hands. From here, tuck your toes, push up, plank pose. Downward facing dog, exhale. In your next inhale, right leg comes up. Let's exhale, bend the knee, pull it in, and step the foot between the hands. Keep your back knee lifted this time. Inhale, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, let's cactus and open up here. Inhale, reaching forward. Bring the hands together if it feels good, and then drop them behind the head as you breathe out. Lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, start to lift your hips, straighten through your front leg. Bring your hands down either side of your front foot. Now your back foot will probably be quite far back, and that's okay. If you want to keep it there, go ahead. You might want to hop it in and drop the heel. Sometimes it's just nice to keep that back heel lifted, however. Draw the shoulders back, pull your heart forward. And then try to find that fold, grabbing your blocks. And if you want to, you could start to walk your hands towards the back of your mat here. So your thumbs point forward, your fingers are back. Take another breath. And then bring your hands all the way forward again. Bend through your front knee. Come into that low lunge. Grounding your hands completely. Step it back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath. Then left leg comes up. Bending the knee to pull it in towards your belly. Take your time to come forward. Step the foot forward. Back knee can always drop. Otherwise, inhale, hands come up. Cactus your arms, exhale. Bringing that scoop forward, inhale, hands together, and drop them behind the head, and breath out. Lift your heart, inhale. And then start to lift your hips, straighten through both legs, bring your hands down. Feel free to gather your blocks. Take your time to arrive here. Like I mentioned, heel might want to be lifted. You might want to hop it in a bit and have it grounded. From here, that length and then the fold. You can walk your hands back. That feels good. Thumbs forward, fingertips reaching. Take another full breath. And then bring your hands all the way back. Grounding them when you're ready. You might need to shift that foot back into the low lunge. And then step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. The end of your exhale, step. You could always jump, or lots of little steps to the top of the mat. Halfway lift a breath in. And then fold, breath out. Coming up to standing, inhale. Stay standing this time. Inhale, coming up. And bring your hands into your heart on your breath out. Shift the weight into your left foot. Pull your right knee up. Point the toe down. Now from here, push your hands in towards your heart. And if it's an option, point the right foot forward. Take a big breath in. Bend the knee, exhale, drop the right foot down. Lean into the right foot, lift the left knee up. Point the toe. Push your thumbs in towards your heart space. Keep lifting your heart up. Left leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, grounding the foot. Shifting weight evenly through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Halfway lift on your breath in. Finding your plank pose on your breath out. Knees or toes. Inhale, shifting forward. Lower all the way down on your exhale. Once you get here, untuck your toes, regular Cobra, breath in. Exhale, bring the forehead down. Active Cobra, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Bring the forehead down, just pause for a moment. And then from here, we're going to move into seal pose. So take the feet slightly wider, hands splayed out a little, pushing into the hands, only lifting as high as your back wants you to. So you might keep the elbows quite bent. You might start to lift and push. Now pushing the pubic bone down, push the tops of the feet down, pressing into the hands, draw the shoulders back. Take another full breath in. And then as you breathe out, bring your forehead down. Hands come underneath the shoulders, feet realign with the hips. Tuck your toes, plank pose, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts up. This time bend your knee and let that hip open. Take another full breath in. And then step the foot between the hands. Let's come up. Crescent lunge, inhale. Cactus arms, exhale. Sweep forward, hands together. Inhale. Lifting them up, drop them behind the head, exhale. Pull the heart up, inhale. Exhale, start to straighten both legs, hands come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, get deeper, maybe walk your hands back, thumbs forward. Now this can feel a little bit tricky the first time you do it. Pressing into the hands, you might need to bend the front knee a little, but shifting the weight forward, pick up the back knee, and then send the foot back down. Drop into that low lunge, bring the hands forward, inhale, heart forward. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Left leg, inhale. Bend the knee, exhale, open your hip. Hold for the inhale, then step the foot forward. Crescent lunge, big breath in. Cactus arms, big breath out. Sweep it forward so you can inhale, hands join and come up. Drop them back, breath out. Lift the heart, inhale. Modified pyramid, exhale, hands down. We're here for a little bit, so take the time. Back heel can be lifted or grounded. You can walk the hands back, shift the weight into the fingers, the front foot, maybe pick up the back foot, and then bring it down. Drop into that low lunge, pull the heart forward, downward facing dog. Take a big breath. Bring the gaze forward, move to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, and fold, exhale. Come up to standing, big inhale. And then bring your hands back to your heart on your breath out. Shift the weight into your left foot. We're going to do exactly what we did before, but this time if you want to, picking up the right knee. And from here, you can hold the right knee, you could lift your arms up, or you could try to hold onto your right foot with your right hand and your left hand. Now the right leg doesn't need to be straight, but you can try to lengthen the right foot forward. Take a breath, and then pull the knee in, drop the foot, take a little shake out if you need to, or come straight up with the left. Holding the knee, maybe reaching the arms up, maybe you liked the strengthening aspect of this a bit more, or holding the foot. You can bend the standing leg to help that. You can keep the left leg bent too as you push it forward for a breath. And then pull the knee in, dropping the foot. Feet equal distance, inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, bring your hands into that fold. Halfway lift, breath in. Hands meet the earth, step back, plank pose, knees or toes. Inhale, pitch forward, lower to the earth on your exhale. On your inhale, roll your heart open, Cobra. As you breathe out, bring your forehead back down. Now pause here if you want to. From here, we're just going to shift the left elbow forward into a little Sphinx pose. Keep the right hand where it is. Look over your right shoulder. Now from here, if you want to, pick up your right leg and take it all the way over to the left. Leaning into the left elbow, you can bring your right hand up. Take a big breath in, and then breath out, dropping the right elbow down now. Slide your left hand underneath your left shoulder. We're doing it on the other side. So pushing into the left hand, left leg comes up, bend the knee, take it over, maybe open up. Take a full inhale, and then coming back to center. From here, both elbows go down. Find Sphinx pose. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the forehead down. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Plank pose. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Take a full breath in and out. On your next inhale, right leg lifts, bend the right knee, open your hip, and step that foot forward. Coming up, crescent lunge again. A little bit of repetition here. Exhale, open up, send the hands forward. Inhale, bringing them up. Hands behind head, breath out, lift the heart. Once again, that pyramid pose. Hands come down, straighten the legs. You hop the heel in. Take a full breath in. Lower into that lunge. This time, drop the back knee. Untuck your back toes, lifting the hands. Take a full breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to bring your left hand back towards your left thigh, glute, back, or maybe onto the back of the knee. Reach your right hand up and back. From here, take a big breath in, and then exhale, cartwheel the hands forward. Tucking your back toes, back knee floats up, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up, bend the knee, open your hip. Take the full breath in, then bring it forward, crescent lunge. So repeating that, coming up, breath in. Cactus your arms, breath out. Bring the hands forward, inhale and up. Behind the head, breath out. Lift your heart, inhale. Your version of a pyramid pose here. So back heel grounded or lifted, folding forward when you're ready. And then bringing the front knee forward, drop the back knee, untuck your back toes. From here, lifting up, only if it feels good. And then when you're ready, bring your right hand back. You can rest on the glute and the lower back, the back of the thigh, the back of the knee as we really reach. Take a full breath in. And then breath out, bring it forward. Tuck your back toes, back knee lifts, downward facing dog. From here, let's ripple forward. Come into our plank pose. Now lowering once again to the ground. Once we get here, feet a little wider, turn the hands out, come into that seal pose. So just lifting as high as your back wants you to. Now from here, I want you to stay like this. If this is giving you what you need, and only come as high as you want to. Or if you want to here, pressing into the hands, lean into the left side of your body, picking up your right foot, bend the knee, take the right foot all the way over to the left, and then start to lift the hips, finding our version of wild thing or flip dog, and then coming all the way back into your seal. So coming down with the hips, pressing up only if it feels good, and then looking to the left, taking the left leg up. From here, you're going to lean into it, pushing into the hips. You could always just stay like this or start to extend. Take a breath in and then breath out, finding that seal pose once again. So take the time to arrive. You might want to drop your knees. Maybe don't go as high this time. Feet out a little wider. Inhale. And then exhale, bringing it down. Hands underneath your forehead now. Feet hip distance. Take a full breath in and out. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, bringing your knees together, feet together, push back, closed-legged child's pose, but reaching forward if you like, or bring your hands around to your heels. If you have your hands on your heels, see if you can tuck your chin and roll onto the crown of your head, lift your hips a little higher, so that your sit bones come off your heels. And then coming back into it, releasing. Take one more full breath. And starting to lift back up onto the knees, so coming into a seat, give your shoulders a nice big roll, maybe 2 or 3. And staying in your seat, let's come off the feet, sliding the legs forward. Let's come into a forward fold. So if you want to prop yourself up on something, go ahead. You could just keep your knees really bent here or bring something underneath. We've done a lot of the hamstrings, so we're going to hold here for a little bit, and you might find that you have a bit more space because we've been moving quite dynamically through this part of the body. So from here, pressing into the sit bones, you can even keep your hands beside you, or you could lift them up, and then starting to come forward. So whether that is holding your feet or the backs of your knees, you would wrap your arms around, or maybe holding the feet and pulling down. Now see if you can really wiggle those heels forward, Small movements, but maybe even pull the toes back towards the knees a bit more. And just holding here for 5 more breaths. See if there's something you can kind of let go here. And then slowly starting to lift back up. From here, we're going to bring the hands behind us. And just bringing the hands behind us, so maybe the fingertips point forward or maybe out to the sides a little. Point the toes. We could do this with bent knees as well. You can stay on your heels, roll your shoulders back, lifting your hips, maybe dropping your head back. Take a full breath in. And then as you breathe out, dropping your hips, bring your chin back so your neck is into neutral, and then coming down, bringing your elbows down. Now from here, if you're okay being on your elbows in this position, looking towards your feet, maybe supporting your lower back if you need to, but really just pressing the elbows down, lifting the heart in a modified fish pose. Take another full inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly lower onto your back. From here, once you get onto your back, hug your knees in towards your belly and just move from side to side. This could be really small movements, it could be really big. Maybe lift your chin towards your knees. And then keeping your right knee hugged in, hold on to the front of it and lengthen your left leg. And we're going to keep this right knee bent like this, but just pull it over to the side a little bit. So we're really just encouraging it to pull in. You point to your right toes, or you could just relax the foot. And taking another full breath in. And then softening your grip on that knee, bring it back towards center. From here, interlacing your hands around the back of the leg. Now, you might just want to keep the knee bent or maybe extend the right leg. Now, if this feels too much, one way we can help it feel a little bit less intense is by bending the left leg. Otherwise, we can start to pull the right leg down. We could even slide the hands up a little. You could even hold on to the foot. Take a full breath in. And from here, it's a bit of a choose your own adventure. If you're okay keeping the legs straight, maybe holding on to the outside of the right foot with the left hand. Now, when I say keeping the legs straight, it doesn't need to be straight. You could bend the knee. And you could also hold the knee in this one. But what we're going to do is open up the right arm, lift the hips a little so we roll onto the outside of the left hip and drop the right foot over to the left. So your legs will kind of look like a big L shape, or we're just bending the knee and holding the knee. Finding a bit of a twist here. Try to keep both shoulders grounded. And take another full breath. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Once again, hug that right knee in. And then switch it up. So pull the left knee in, lengthen the right leg. Interlacing your hands around the front of the knee and pull it over towards that left shoulder a little. You can relax your left foot, or point it. Just add a little bit of pressure with the hands. And then coming to center, still keeping the hands interlaced, but bringing them around the back of the knee, and then starting to extend the left leg. Once again, toes pointed, flexed or get a bit deeper into the hamstrings. You can stay here. You could bend the right knee to add a bit of support. Or if you want to, you could start to lengthen your hands along, maybe even hold onto the foot. If the leg's bent, that's fine too. But what I would like you to do is just notice how it feels for you. So if keeping the knee bent feels better, that's exactly what you should be doing. If it feels good straight, go ahead. Now, whether or not you're bending or keeping the leg straight, holding on to the outside of the left foot with the right hand, opening up the left arm, lift the hips a little so you roll more on the outside of the right foot and then take the left foot over to the right. You're going to look over your left hand. Once again, both knees could be bent here. Just taking a couple breaths. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Hug both knees in now. Pulling them in. Maybe moving them out to the side and then bringing them back in. Maybe a little happy baby here will feel pretty good. Encourage your tailbone down. Move about if you need to. And then bringing your knees back to center. Doing any final movements, any final poses that feel good. And so if that means doing a handstand, great. If it's legs up the wall, great. If it's just lying here or being tucked in a ball for a little longer, go ahead. But whatever you are doing, keep it quite intentional right now to help prepare your body for rest. And if you have the time, Shavasana really is kind of our peak pose. So we're working towards this point. So we really want to set the body up in a way that feels good. If you're practicing in the evening, you could take this to your bed. Try to take away some distractions just for a little bit of time. You can let the body rest, the mind rest. Everything starts to soften. And then slowly we can start to drop the intention. And we potentially could slip in to the beginning stages of meditation. Maybe it's something you practice a fair bit and you can come into it relatively quickly. Just take all the time you need to set up. Some big breaths often help. Please take your time here. This is where I will say goodbye. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.